Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, to kick off our project and developing a dashboard in Tableau, we're going to start with the visual number 1.1, which was revenue growth over time, depending on different time units. If we recall, based on a wireframe diagram, we want to show the revenue growth over time at the week, the month, and the quarter and the year level. So, this has to be dynamic. We've gone through in our prior videos how to build parameters and calculate fields on top of these. And so we'll apply some of our learnings to this visual here. So, uh, how I approached this problem was I first built a parameter called proj date selector here. And just to show you how I did this, obviously, if you go into create parameter, you'll see a pop-up appearing here that shows, hey, define what your parameter looks like and see how this parameter was built out is if I go into it real quick, I just named it as the project date selector. I can always rename it in something different later on, but the data type is going to be string. The current value, it could be anything, a year, month, or quarter, or week. I just put it as quarter for now. Um, and the allowable values, I selected this as list and I put in values all in lower cases here, year, month, quarter, week. And for the display as values, I just capitalized the first letter of each values. And so you first need this. And now we also need to get the date of the order purchase timestamp converted over. So I used a calculated field here, which once more, we can go here to create a new calculated field. We can do something like this, which I've already built out, which simply just returns a date of the order purchase timestamp into a date format. Now, with this calculated field being available, I will now be able to create a new um, time period granularity calculator fields. And what I mean by that is, if I look into our calc select period calculator field, let me explain a little bit more. So, similar to our previous lecture, I'm using this calculator field, and with it, I'm using a date trunc function, which basically truncates the specified date to the accuracy specify the date part. So in my case, I'm saying, hey, go into the select period. Well, hang on, let me find the right one here. There you go. This is what we want. So the trunk from our parameter proj date selector. If it's selected at week, for example, then our calculated order purchase date, which is a date now, will show at the date level. And the start of the week for me is going to be set to Sunday. Some people set it to Monday. It really doesn't matter. It depends on your culture and your location, and and those kind of or your company's use case or whatnot. Um, so based on that, whether this is at the week, month, quarter, or the year level, your order date, order purchase date will be set to those levels accordingly. Once more, finally at the end, we need to format this to show in the correct way. So I have set up a formatted calculator field to work on top of this. So once you create a new calculator field, this is what this should look like. This is a fairly not too long, but then fairly not too short if else statement. But essentially, what I'm saying is, hey, if my parameter is set to year, so this is the value, not the display as value, then I want to use my calculator field that I just created, the calc project date selector, convert that into year, and then return it as a string value, so as a text. If my selector and my parameter is set to months, then I want to get the date name of the month in the project date selector calculator field. And I'm using these pluses to concatenate text. So the month name, for example, January plus a comma and a space, and plus, let's go to the next line. I'm attaching the year as well in text. So, for example, if we're looking at January 2018, let me back up. So, if this calculated project date selector, which is our order purchase dates now, if this is a date that says, for example, January 2nd of 2018, we're getting the date name, so January, and we're getting the year of 2018, and we're just concatenating that together with a comma and a space in between. Similar, if our parameter is set to quarter, then we are just extracting the quarter information from our order purchase date column, and then I'm concatenating with a Q dash, and I'm also attaching the string value of the year as well. So, for example, January 2nd of 2018, that's Q1. So that'll be 1 Q dash and the string value of 2018 here. And for week, this is my last value. So I instead of using an else if, I'm using an else because this is my last one. I'm saying, hey, get the week value in number or in integer, and then concatenate W dash text, and then concatenate the string value of the year and end. So this is some of the pre-work that you would need to do to make your parameters work and make it work dynamically. Now, with that said, let's move on toward actually building Visual 1.1, which is revenue growth over time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So we'll start building our 1.1 visual, which is revenue growth over time, depending on week or month or quarter, depending. So it'll all depend on your senior leadership's XPR, which could be monthly, weekly, or on quarterly basis. So in order to get started on this, if we're calling a wireframe diagram, we want to build either a bar chart or an alternative. I'll stick with the bar chart because we're using a parameter right now. And so our last final calculator field to show that was this. If we look at it once more, this is a very long if else statement. And I'm going to drag and drop this into our column field well. And now we will need a measure. In our case, we need price because we're looking at revenue. Okay, so far what we see here is, let me expand this a little bit if I can grab it just to show this better. So, and then let's make our parameter visible by hitting right click and then show parameter. And let's change this to month. So as you can see, this will change dynamically as such. This is a bit fairly long, but that's all right for now. And let me just bring it back to quarters so we have a more condensed view for now. Now, we want to also understand how different product categories have contributed to the revenue growth. So I have created a calculated field called calc_proj product category, just to see what's inside. I've only taken 3 product categories. So within the original product category name, within the products, so this one here, within this data set, I'm using that to create this project category. And what this is saying is, hey, if this column value is toys, then let's label it toys with capital T. If it's garden tools, let's call it garden tools with capital G, no underbar. And if it's health beauty, then let's call it health and beauty with H being capitalized, and every other product categories will be considered as other. So let's bring that in. Let's bring it into our colors. And let's additionally bring this into our filters as well, because maybe we want to have the leadership be able to filter through some of the other categories to understand how are some of the categories doing on its own compared to just contributing to the overall revenue. So we can do that. We can additionally bring in the labels here as well. One thing that you'll notice, because we're using a calculator field and parameters, Oops, that's not the one that we want to use. Let's bring in price into our labels. One thing that you'll notice is that when we bring in the price into our labels, the individual uh, total revenue generated by each category is shown, but not the total revenue generated for each quarter. And how we will do that is we will use something called a reference line. So if we'll go into analytics here, and there's something called a reference line in the bottom here, and I'm going to hold this and drag it, and I'm going to put it into cell here. And by default, this will create a pop-up. We're going to create a line, and then we're going to create at the per cell level in terms of scope. The line will be a sum price. This will be a sum. Label will be a value. And for line, so as you can see, a line has been created. We don't want to see that line. So we're going to make that as none. And we're going to hit yes or okay. So as a result, we'll see the total revenue generated now going forward. Obviously, this number looks very clunky because it's really hard to read because it's very exact. So we may want to work on some of the formatting as well. Well, let's not go here. Let's go to label and see if we can do that. It's, we cannot. Okay. So we'll have to do this here then. So we'll go here into the format, and within the pane and at the default, we'll change the numbers here. And because this is a currency, instead of do we want to use standard? No, I don't like the standard because this is still exact. So let's use currency custom, and let's leave the decimal places to 2 decimal places. And the thing that will change here is the display units first off. So let's open that and let's change it to the millions level. And as you'll see, what happens is this shows now at the million level with only up to down to 2 decimal places that we have set here. The prefix, because it's a currency, has a dollar sign, which is what we want, and that's good. So this makes things a lot more tidy, a lot more readable. Um, and so let's close it down. One thing that you also notice here is the small um, health and beauty is often not shown. So if you want to absolutely show this, you can go into the label option here and then go and click on the allow labels to overlap with other marks. I personally don't like this because this makes some stack bars a little bit cluttered. So I'm going to just uncheck this and just leave it as is for now. There's some other formattings that we can do here, obviously. For example, if we hover here, the name formatted calc project date selector colon 2Q of 2018. The values look okay, but then our keys look very long and hard to understand if I was, let's say, the VP of revenue. So you could do some formatting on the tooltips. The way that you can do that is by clicking on tooltip, and then you can change this to say something like period and product category revenue, then hit okay. So now this looks a lot more cleaner as a result. We'll also do some other formatting later on in a separate video, but just for this visual specifically as an example, we can also change this title to, let's say, 1.1 revenue growth over time by product group. And there's an insert option here. Let's open the dropdown, and then we can pick a parameter here actually. So we're going to find a parameter which is the select period or the project date selector. And let's do that, and let's hit apply. So we can change this, and you'll see that this is created at the quarter level. If we change our parameter to month, then this also changes as well accordingly. So that's a neat trick that you can use. Um, same for weeks as well, I believe. Let's bring it back at the quarter just for sake. We can also hide the field label for a column as well. If you also have a row label, you can also remove that as well. Luckily for us, we don't have that. Um, Edit axis. And then if you want to access titles here, this is custom, so we can change that to revenue in dollars, in $1 million, for example. So this is some of the formatting that we can do real quick. Obviously, there's some other ones that we can do, but I think this is good enough for now. One thing that I will also point out is in our x-axis, our time in for quarters. This is not in the right ascending order. So what we'll have to do is go to our column field well, right-click our formatted calculated field for the time, and there is a sort option here. What we'll do now in this pop-up is change the sort by from date source order to field. And we'll leave it as ascending, sure, but the field name will be our original raw data that we use to create this calculated field, which in our case will be order, purchase, timestamp, and the aggregation will be set to minimum. And let's close. So as you can see now, this looks a lot less cluttered, and the order seems to be in the right um, fashion. So this is how we could build our 1.1 visual revenue growth over time. We also probably want to make this filter available as well, so we'll bring that in. And this is the legend. Yeah, okay. I guess we can have the legend here. And let's bring down the parameter upwards. All right. So we can do something like this as well. And we can also reorder our filters by dragging and dropping them on the right side of the pane. So this is one way of doing the development of our Visual 1.1. And now with this, we'll move on and start developing our Visual 1.2.